Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video I'm going to be taking another look at the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Flatbed Truck and Helicopter set. This is set number 31146. It has 270 pieces and I paid $20 for this set. Now I've already done a video about the main model for this Lego Creator 3-in-1 being this flatbed truck and this helicopter. So in this video I'm going to be taking the main model apart and I'm going to be putting together the first alternate model for this set, which appears to be like a cement truck and a prop plane or something like that. And then in a subsequent video I will take that apart and put together the final alternate build here and kind of give my thoughts on them. So I will just get right into this while I disassemble the main build here, and while I build the alternate build I will speed the video up and then I'll slow it back down to review the first alternate build for this set. So until then, enjoy! Okay, so while we look at the disassembly for this Lego Creator 3-in-1 flatbed truck with helicopter set, and while we look at the build for the alternate model here being like the plane and some kind of truck, I wanted to say thanks for watching and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up, and if you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot and it means a lot to me. So we are just finishing up disassembling all this, and I wasn't exactly sure how much I needed to take apart. Like, for example, I'm never confident that I need to take the wheels off of the axle pieces, but sometimes I do. But then we move on to the build here. So you start out by building the plane, and this was interesting. Again, the scale of this set is kind of unique, and I was surprised at how well this plane kind of turned out. It came together very, very quickly. There's nothing extremely notable about the building techniques. And then we move on to this truck. Please leave it in the comments below what kind of truck this is supposed to be. I think I call it a cement truck, but also maybe a tank, like a fuel truck or something like that. But this is a really interesting scale too. I did like the use of some of the colored pieces here, and there was a little bit of interesting building techniques going on with some different brackets and using those fender pieces in a nice way to kind of round out the back area of the truck. And then we add some wheels there, and that's that. So now on to my review for the alternate build for this set. Okay, so here we have the first alternate build for this Lego Creator 3-in-1 flatbed truck and helicopter set. So I think I was kind of calling this maybe like a cement truck or something like that, and this was like a prop plane. But I am wondering now if maybe this is like a truck that carries fuel. I don't know what they call those, a tanker or like a something that maybe is, I thought this would all kind of look like something that might be on a cement truck, and this is kind of round even though it's not conical and stuff like that. But I think maybe if it's a refilling thing, that makes more sense for the plane, and I could see that being what it's supposed to be. But I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments below. But I'll be talking about both of these because you do get both of these for this alternate build. And right off the bat, when we get into it, you can see over here are all the pieces that are in the main build but not in this alternate build. So over here are the pieces that were just the small pieces that were the extra ones that Lego always adds just for weight and stuff like that. But the rest of these, like we have an extra set of wheels and an axle plate there, some of these longer plates, a couple bigger plates, just different stuff. Some of the translucent stuff not used, but it kind of used more of the pieces than I thought it was going to, considering the size of these vehicles compared to the ones from the main model. So I will kind of go through this, and the first one you build here is the plane. So this is interesting. It's a very small scale. You know, if I were to compare this to the helicopter, they're probably similar in scale. It's only 2 studs wide here. It's not minifig scale, and it's kind of interesting. I do like the color blocking. Feels a little bit disjointed, but a little bit nice. You know, overall, I think the wing blocking is nice. No stickers or anything like that. Nice use of these parts here. I liked how these pieces kind of were folded back there, which is very good. Propeller is fine. It does have one set of wheels on it, but no wheel on the rear. We just have this little piece there that allows it to kind of sit at an angle with its tail still kind of elevated and stuff like that, so not too bad. We do use those couple clear pieces, clear bricks, to make sort of a cockpit area, windscreen area there. And then we have a wing at the tail, or like, you know, a tail wings here and a light there. And this is pretty straightforward for the most part. What you see is what you get here. There's not anything terribly interesting as far as a build kind of goes. You start off just with a relatively big 2x plate, and you add these kind of inverted bricks, like slopes in there. Add this kind of step plate here. Then you work on adding stuff up on the front, and I guess putting together the like hollow stud pieces with the bar, and right above that the hollow stud 1x2s like this. You actually kind of build those upside down and attach these inverted kind of slopes here, and then stick it to the bottom. So that was a little bit unique there. And then you kind of add these slopes on the top to kind of make that all come together. The wing is very straightforward, just plates on top of plates and some tiles, using some of these cheese wedges, cheese slopes on the end to give it a little more detail, a little more shaping there, which is fine. And you know, I think this is kind of one of those builds that you could look at an image of, and or one could look at an image of. I might be able to look at an image of, and given the pieces that were in here, be able to put this together. There's, just because of the scale of it, there's not that much going on, so you can pretty much see, I mean, I guess almost every piece, or definitely every piece that's in here, you can kind of see from the outside, and that's not always the case. But when it is the case, it does give kind of more of a clue as to what goes into the build. So this is pretty rudimentary, but it's very obviously a plane. The propeller can spin, the wheels can go, and so that's pretty good. Totally swooshable, feels good in the hand. And I don't think I made note of this in the main build, but I've said it a million other times. I love building like similar Lego models at different scales, and so being able to compare like the helicopter from the main model to like a city helicopter to, you know, various kinds of bigger helicopters is really interesting. You know, comparing this plane to some other kind of planes like this would be kind of unique, and that's pretty cool, but very straightforward there. And then the other one, which I was calling like the cement mixer or cement truck, but maybe now I'm calling a fuel truck. This is more interesting to me, and you build this second. And this is kind of an example where you can't see easily every piece that's used in here. I would have to think a little bit harder to try to be able to put this together without the instructions, but I think this is really cool. So we do use 6 of the wheels here, so that's very nice, and pretty straightforward. A lot of studs on top stuff in there. At the front, I love how this is tiled around the side for like maybe a tinted window here, a curved kind of tinted window there, and over on the other side. I think that's really, really nice. The color blocking on here is very nice with the blue and red being used together. And then the back of this has some kind of studs on the side for some different detailing here. Same for the other side. Using these fender pieces to kind of round this off is a really good design choice, and having this little bit sticking off there adds to maybe what this is supposed to be. So this actually does make use of some of the bracket pieces, studs on the side pieces. These kind of drum lacquered silver pieces are in here. A couple of translucent pieces for lights. I think these are supposed to maybe be exhaust stacks or something on the side of a truck like that. And this feels like the cab of this thing is even smaller than the one from the main build, but it feels pretty good. It feels like it's pretty well designed, and so that's really, really cool to see. I don't think this is really intended to be super easy to take on and off, but it is relatively easy. And just looking at this compared to what the main build had for the truck is pretty interesting, and I do really like kind of some of the considerations here for how this was put together, the different colors that were used, the color blocking, how this was going to tile out and put together, and then even simple stuff like those couple pieces to kind of make some exhaust stuff there really works for me. And then you can add the back of this. The back has some internal structure in there, some bracket usage in there, some kind of so-so piece usages, I would say. And the other side is very much the same. So we can look at both of these pieces next to each other, these kind of sub-assemblies. I mean, they're mirrored a little bit, but that's all right. And you can kind of see inside of here of what that is all made out of there. So you have to kind of, it's not super straightforward. You gotta kind of do some different things in there, but it does come together at the end very nicely. And then these side panels come on there and help kind of round it out a little bit, make it look more like a fuel tank or a garbage truck or a cement mixer or whatever this is supposed to be. And so that's quite good considering the parts that we have here. And this can roll and it can interact with the plane. Maybe I was trying to think if this was going to be fueling up out of the truck, if there was a way that made sense here, or maybe these aren't supposed to interact with each other at all. And that's okay, I suppose. I would have liked if they had some kind of intended interaction or interplay between them, because the main model really had that. I think the next alternate model might not necessarily have that either, but I would have loved to see that for both of these alternate builds. Looking at these, I kind of talked about this with the main build, looking at the helicopter alone and looking at the truck and the trailer from the main build alone to evaluate value. I think the value here is interesting because it is a Creator 3-in-1, so that main build does use all these pieces. This alternate build does leave out a good amount of pieces, but would this be a $10 set, and would this be a $10 set? I think the answer is no, but they're probably not far off. I think there's like a deceptive amount of pieces used in each one of these, even with their scale, and probably because of their scale, they have to use a more smaller pieces. Whereas if these were scaled up a little bit, like to city size, maybe they wouldn't use as many pieces because they would get by with using bigger pieces. I'm not certain about that, but these don't really feel like they're a scale that Lego typically works in for sets that are going to be like a $10 box set. So I feel like I don't see this kind of stuff very often. It feels almost like this is something that could have existed when I was a kid. There's something a little bit nostalgic about this, not because these are like retro designs or retro vehicles necessarily, although they could be, but also kind of the Lego building and the scale here feels like some Lego building from my time as a child, my youth a little bit, and that's kind of cool there. But they do use maybe some modern techniques and probably some new pieces that didn't use back there, but something about the scale and the just the overall look and the build kind of make me feel that way. This one is really only 4 studs wide for the most part. I mean, it's a little bit wider at these kind of exhaust bits here, maybe a little bit wider at the widest on the back, but not very wide. It's, I would say, 4 studs, but the wheels are a little bit wider, and that's that. Obviously the plane has to take the wingspan into account, but like the fuselage of the plane is only 2 studs wide, so very, very small, but pretty interesting, pretty cool. I think these are both bigger than a poly bag, but probably not what Lego would do for a $10 box. Maybe Lego would do a $10 Creator 3-in-1 with something like this. I don't know what the actual piece count of this is, and it could be that that's something they would do. It's close. I think maybe the plane is a little bit too small. Thinking about comparing it to like the Red Dragon or the Space Shuttle or the Unicorn or some of the older $10 Creator 3-in-1s, maybe these are close to being, quality enough for that, but I'm not sure. So as far as the value goes, like, I don't think these 2 vehicles necessarily equate to a $20 set, but I do have all these other pieces left over that I could turn into something else, and I still have another build to build. So I'm going to kind of, I think, stay consistent here and say that I think the value kind of makes sense on this. I personally derive a lot of value out of building and taking apart and building a next thing and taking it apart and building a next thing with these Creator 3-in-1s. So that's very fun to me. I think the main build was pretty good. I think this one's not as good, but still cool and might appeal to slightly different people, which is really nice. And that's pretty much it. So this is fine, and I'm excited to look at the next kind of alternate build here. So if I get the instructions, it looks like we will be making kind of like an SUV and maybe like a hot rod or something like that. This one probably uses the fewest pieces. We'll have to see, though. I do not know, but some of this almost reminds me of some older kind of Lego as well, so I'm excited to see this, and I will do that in the next video. So if you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including the next video for the last alternate model for this Lego Creator 3-in-1. I'm going to be doing some other Lego Creator 3-in-1s, other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe if you like. It helps me a lot. And if you want to support this channel, you can do that right here on YouTube with membership supers and thanks. That also helps me a lot. And I still have the Patreon. That also helps me a lot. The Patreon is linked in the video description. It's linked on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. You can get access to some exclusive videos. My videos are up there early before they're public on YouTube, different stuff. And it just means the world to me. So thank you very much. And hope to continue making Lego videos here for a long time to come. So thank you everybody who watches and likes and comments and supports and all of that wonderful stuff. It really means a lot to me. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.